The new Lloyd Mr. Nissan is now in our temporary location. Find us in the Big Blue Building on Highway 16 West and shop indoors in comfort all winter long. Walk through over 100 new and pre-owned vehicles under one big roof. And right now at the new Lloyd Mr. Nissan, you get free tires for life with your new or pre-owned purchase. Sales, parts, and service all in the Big Blue Building on Highway 16 West. The new Lloyd Mr. Nissan. We won't sell you a car, we'll help you buy one.
Local people. Local news and events. Local sports. Local matters. For all things Lloydminster area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Great to have you with us this morning. We're at the new Lloyd Mr. Nissan Exhibition Grill here at the Lloyd Mr. Exhibition on what is a chilly day, but it is a warmer day than it has been. And just a big shout out to Aztec Safety for putting on a fantastic Aztec Safety Challenge presented by Wild Rose Pump and Compression. Boy, it's just a first class event, and out there in the cold, and still a ton of people showed up to watch the curling. So can't wait to see what happens next year when hopefully it isn't literally minus 50. Well, the new Lloyd Mr. Nissan has moved to the Big Blue Building on Highway 16 West. And right now at the new Lloyd Mr. Nissan, you get free tires with your purchase. So come shop indoors where it's nice and warm. We have over 100 new and pre-owned vehicles indoors at the new Lloyd Mr. Nissan for you to shop in comfort. The windows are rolled down. You can sit in the vehicles. And then if you need help, a salesperson will be right there to help you out. No pressure. But come in before the end of January for free tires for life with your purchase. Joan Alexander is here to chat with us today about Walking the Labyrinth, a pathway to peace, which takes place this Sunday at the Lloydminster Public Library. We're going to find out more about that, and I have a lot of questions about it coming up in just a few minutes. We do want to let you know that one of our big supporters is BioClean Disaster Services, and their commitment is to you. Their commitment is to your family. Their commitment is to the community. And you see that throughout Lloydminster with their name on the BioClean Aquatic Center especially. But wind, fire, flood, and now we're seeing burst pipes, extreme cold causing burst pipes. BioClean Disaster Services, I talked to Jody and Sharon yesterday, and that's what they were very, very busy with. And their priority is putting their customers first and putting your family first and getting your family and getting your business back to where you were before the disaster. They're local. They serve Lloydminster, Wainwright, Cold Lake, and the surrounding area, and they take a lot of pride in being local, as they should. BioClean Disaster Services, where their focus is truly taking care of you and your family. 1-833-246-8326. Well, the big news of the day today is if you're driving down Highway 16, you're going to see teachers out picketing. It's a one-day strike, a one-day walkout that is happening throughout the province of Saskatchewan. And I wasn't sure what this was all about, but I had a chance to stop by Border Inn and Suites and talk to Ryan Armstrong this morning. I'm here with Derek Armstrong, who is the president of the Lloydminster Teachers Association, and he's just come off of the line out there. Derek, let's start with the numbers. How many teachers here today?
So, Kurt, we should have around 550 teachers here. We have our full group of teachers from Lloydminster, just over 460, as well as we'll have just about 100 joining us from surrounding communities from Northwest School Division and Tri-West.
Okay, we know this is not about... Is this about money for the teachers, or is this about, as we're hearing, classroom issues? And as we're seeing on the signs, when you drive by, you'll see that it's a student priority. It seems to be.
It is student priority. This is about sustainable funding for education, not grants, not pilot projects that happen to come out this week. We're looking for money in the negotiated agreement, money for school divisions to meet the needs of students. When we've seen over a decade of chronic underfunding, it has eroded the education system. And honestly, enough is enough. We can't continue to take it. We have less supports in the classroom for students. We see higher class sizes. We have increases in complex needs, and we're just not able to meet all of the needs, and there's not the supports to support students and the challenges that they're facing.
Okay, we're hearing classroom sizes. So when I think classroom sizes, I think of big cities. Is classroom size an issue here in Lloydminster?
Absolutely, and it's at no fault of schools or even the school divisions. When there's not enough money to meet the needs of all the buildings, you see class sizes increase. As government grants and funding ratios continue to drop, class sizes creep up to that 30 level and above. We have lots of classrooms that sit between 28 and 30 plus. And we know from research that that's not good, especially at the younger ages where they're learning fundamentals to be able to learn for the rest of their life. We need to see class sizes closer to 20 to 24.
We got a school closing in Lloydminster. How's that going to affect class sizes?
Well, I guess, you're taking in the public system 10 schools to 9. We could anticipate some increases in class size. However, we are trying to optimize other buildings, I guess, so we should be able to move classrooms and maintain at least what we have, but that doesn't fix or solve the problem of underfunding, right? The school divisions just don't have the resources at their disposal to properly support all the needs.
We're hearing another issue is complexity. I don't know what that means. Can you explain what complexity means?
So complexity is all about that schools and the students that are coming to schools, it looks different than when you and I went to school. The mental health challenges that students are coming with, the students who are hungry, the pieces that make the academic side of school kind of secondary, right? There's so many things that teachers are tasked with dealing with, from behavior to learning disabilities. Without proper supports, we can't get all that done and meet the academic needs. I'm not saying anybody's not trying their hardest, because look at teachers out here at minus 35. They care about their students. We could be back in classrooms. We'd rather be back in classrooms. We'd rather be getting paid our full salaries. We care deeply about the students that we serve and public education as a system. And so when there's not the funding to support the solutions to meet the needs of students, the complexity of the classroom is unmanageable.
What's the support? Do you feel the support from parents? Do you feel the support from school boards?
Absolutely. From our employers and school boards, they're doing exactly what they need to be doing when it comes to utilization of the current funding levels that they have. But it's not enough. It's not enough for them to do all the things that we need. We need more educational assistance in the classroom. We need access to educational psychology testing. We need access to speech language pathologists. We need more teachers. And when the funding doesn't allow that to happen, everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, or as good as they can do, but they can't do any more when there's no dollars.
We're hearing about a pilot project in Saskatchewan. I think it's 8 schools. Is that what it is? What's this pilot project about, and do you have some faith that this might solve some problems?
That's a great question. I'm not sure what it's all about, but I'll tell you, from our perspective, it is another government kind of smoke and mirrors. It's let's divide the teachers and the public and look over here while we drag out this process. There was a secondary pilot that they announced, or an innovative teaching fund, $2.5 million to, get some money for a special project in your building. That's all that is. It's one-time money. It doesn't support students. It doesn't support the HR side of education, and it's not sustainable. That money will disappear. And really, in the grand scheme of things, $2.5 million is very insignificant when you're looking at a $2 billion budget in Saskatchewan for education.
Derek, do you anticipate that this is a one-time thing? Do you think you'll be back here? Do you think it'll be a longer strike? What's your feel? Because they don't seem to want to bargain.
Yeah, I think it's left in the hands of the government. They've walked away from the table. They have not committed any actual mandate that allows us to have a real conversation. So it really is up to Premier Moe and his government to decide to come back with actual dollars to get the conversation rolling. We hope that it doesn't continue, but the 14,500 teachers are all part of the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation, and we are united as a collective. And if it takes continuing, we'll do that to fight for our students and families.
Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Kurt.
Our thanks to Derek Armstrong. I believe I called him his brother's name, Ryan. But Derek Armstrong, once again, the president of the Teachers Association here in Lloydminster. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll tell you what else is happening around town.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
It's more than just taxes at LNA CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at LNA CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. LNA CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Well, another Chase the Ace draw tomorrow night here at the new Lloydminster Nissan Exhibition Grill for the Lloydminster Exhibition. The jackpot now over $72,000 and could creep up towards $75,000 this week. 34 cards remaining in the deck. Tickets start at just $10 each, and this will be a very busy place again for the rest of the month because there is stuff happening here at the Lloydminster Exhibition all of the time. In fact, we're getting ready for egg revisions already. But go to lloydx.com and have your credit card ready. Well, tickets are available now for the Lloydminster Kinsman and Kinet's Telemiracle Steak Night in support of Telemiracle 48. The steak night this year features a great supper and Bud's Busted 9 irons. Tickets are $60. Myself and Heather Clegis will be your MCs, and we haven't missed one of these steak nights in quite some time. And it's a great cause, and it's a great supper. Call Matt, 587-217-5067 to get your tickets. Speaking of tickets, they're not cheap to see Daniel Smith. She's coming to Lloydminster on January the 27th for a luncheon at Rolling Green Fairways. Doors open 11:30. Lunch is at 12:30. Tickets $225, and that comes with a tax receipt. For tickets, you can go to unitedconservatives.ca. And sticking with politics, there's an incredible 8 people vying for the open seat on Lloydminster City Council, and that was vacated by Aaron Buckingham when he became the fire chief. Advance polls for the by-election will be open on February 3rd, with the by-election day being Saturday, February 13th. We've had some people reach out to us and ask us if we'll be interviewing those candidates. We're not sure at this point if we can squeeze. We won't do it if we only do one. We'll only do it if we can get everybody on in time. Now, speaking of Lloydminster City Council, Thursday is the day for Mayor Albers. He is set to decide his intentions to run or not to run again for mayor in the November municipal election in Saskatchewan. The cold weather has been hard on the BioClean Aquatic Centre with a broken pipe, but it's been hard on all of us, let's face it. And speaking of the BioClean Aquatic Centre, they're hosting a Swimming in Snowflakes event on January 27th with 2 times available to go enjoy decorations, DJ lights, hot chocolate, crafts, and a whole lot more as they transform the BioClean Aquatic Centre into a winter wonderland. First session, 5:30 to 7. The next session runs 7:30 to 9. And tickets are just $10. You can pick those up at Walking on Water Toys or by stopping by the BioClean Aquatic Centre. This Saturday we'll be at the Lloydminster Gun and Outdoor Sportsman Show, and that's on Saturday and Sunday at the Service Sports Centre. Saturday the show runs from 10 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 3. The cost is only $10 to get in, with 12 and under getting in for free. Over 230 tables will be there, and that is sponsored by the Lloydminster Fish and Game Association, and it's a big month for Fish and Game. It's the last full week to get your tickets for one of the tastiest suppers all year in Lloydminster, the Family Wildlife off an awards banquet. Happens on January the 27th. They've got a magician performing this year. Magic Ben will take the stage, and tickets are only $50. And trust me, I go to this each and every year, and it is a fantastic meal, a meal that you're not going to get anywhere else. I especially enjoy the moose sausage, which I hope they have back again this year, but it changes every year. Even the appetizers change, and those are fantastic. 780-808-6420 to get your tickets. And tickets are available now for the Marwayne Community Playground Association's Comedy Night with Kelly Taylor. Kelly's going to be out in Marwayne on February the 10th. Supper's at 6, the show at 8. Tickets are available on eventbrite.ca. There's also a dance. Tickets $75. And square dancing is back in Lloydminster. You can square dance with Square Dance Lloydminster and area. They invite you to check out and try some square dancing on Wednesday nights at the City Church here in downtown Lloydminster. You don't need to bring a partner, but you can if you like. And you can try it out for free from 6:30 to 8:30 on Wednesday night. And that runs throughout April. If you have any questions, you can email squaredanceLloyd@gmail.com. And once again, no need to RSVP. You can just show up. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Joan Alexander takes us through her presentation on Sunday at the Lloydminster Public Library called Walking the Labyrinth.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to support the communities we live in. When you support Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, you are supporting local nonprofits and initiatives. Since 2020, we have donated $60,000 to local nonprofits, youth sponsorships, and various special projects. When was the last time your insurance company did that?
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with a Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
Welcome back to the new Lloydminster Nissan Exhibition Grill. I'm Kurt Price, of course, and we want to give a shout out to Superior Water. Superior Water specializes in nothing but water, and with over 22 years in the business, they're proud and confident that their water and their service is superior. Now, for iron filters, water softeners, reverse osmosis distillers, chlorine removal, and H2S odor removal, give Dale at Superior Water and his team a call, 780-875-6636, or you can visit them 2 locations, 57th Avenue, right beside Sheepskin Loft, and stay hydrated with pure, clean water. They also have their coin-operated location right beside 7-Eleven on Highway 17 South. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste. I believe it is superior water. Well, Joan Alexander joins us this morning to talk about something that I had no idea about until she messaged me on Facebook and gave me a heads up. Now, you've maybe seen it on the Lloydminster Public Library's Facebook page, and Joan is going to be hosting a chat. Is it a chat, an event?
It's so much more than a chat.
Okay.
So much more. So a little bit of education around what they are, because not many people know what a labyrinth is. Then opportunity to engage in finger experiences with labyrinths like you and I are going to do this morning, Kurt.
Yep.
And finally, I am so excited to say that we will actually be walking a labyrinth together at the Lloydminster Public Library. I have a beautiful 20 by 20 feet labyrinth that was hand painted by a group in Nelson, BC, and gifted to me. So I'm able to bring that. Shout out to the Lloyd Mall for offering to open up an empty storefront for us to lay out this labyrinth, and we're going to be walking together.
So it is called Walking the Labyrinth, A Pathway to Peace.
Yes.
This Sunday at what time?
It's at 2 p.m. There's no cost. There's no registration required. There is limited space, though. We'll be using one of the library's meeting rooms. So I suggest if anyone is interested, if you're interested and want to join me, please come out a little bit early.
So let's start at the basics. What is a labyrinth? People will say it's a maze. It's not a maze. Tell us what a labyrinth is.
Yeah. There's two big differences between labyrinths and mazes. Mazes most often have high walls. They have dead ends. They're meant to trick us. They're a lot of fun, especially at Halloween, when, I don't know if we have them in our area. But
Corn mazes, yeah.
Yeah, right. So they're fun. I'm not saying anything against mazes. Labyrinths are different in that they are not meant to trick us. They are often one path into the center and the same path back out again.
So when we look at a labyrinth, I see a brain. Is that any coincidence?
I've never heard it described as a brain.
I see we can see it on the pattern here.
Yeah, you can see the different areas of the brain. That's really interesting. I love that. I love it. I often describe a labyrinth as a metaphor for life. So a metaphor is, a different way of looking at a word or an experience. So when I invite you to walk a labyrinth, I'm inviting you to be more aware of your life and the journey that you're on. Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask how that works. That's
You look nervous.
That's probably the big question.
Okay.
But I find it fascinating that labyrinths kind of went away for a while. They were popular in ancient times, and now they've really come back. And they've really come back. They're all over North America. Where did they start?
Yeah, such a good question. They're all over the world. And one of the mysteries, Kurt, of labyrinths is that remnants of labyrinths have been found on every continent, dating back to, way back before, long before you and I were on this earth. And they prove that labyrinths were built on different continents before travel was even possible between them. So there's a lot of mystery that's still around. And you're right, there's a resurgence, absolutely, on the interest in labyrinths, yeah. And they are still found on every continent.
Well, one of the questions Paul asked you, and I would not have thought to ask this question, is this a religious thing?
It is so much bigger than one or two different religious or spiritual paths. So no, it's not owned, if you will, by one religion. You'll find labyrinths, though, in faith buildings, in church courtyards. We'll also find them in hospital areas, in schools, in parks. They can be found anywhere. One of my dreams here in Lloydminster is that we create an outdoor labyrinth. And I've talked with the city. Talks are hopefully ongoing. Perhaps the Bud Miller Park, perhaps downtown. Yeah.
When we talk about a labyrinth and what it does for you, is it a form of meditation?
It can be, absolutely. You can go into a labyrinth with a question. What am I going to do with my life? You can go in with grief. You're grieving the loss of someone you loved or someone you didn't. I've been more excited recently to be working with groups that are in the midst of strategic planning. So it can be an individual journey. It can also be a group experience. Several years ago in BC, I was a marriage commissioner and I officiated a wedding on the labyrinth. So it can be used for so many things.
So people would come back to the labyrinth as they reach life choices.
They can, absolutely. I invite them to do so.
Well, a lot of people meditate. They meditate weekly, monthly. Is that what, is it meditation while moving?
That's That's a great way to describe it. May I use that phrase?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I love that because you know, you're focusing on either your feet that are walking an actual path, or in what we're going to do in a few moments is you're going to focus on where your hand or your finger is moving. So yeah.
Okay, so how does that work? How does this, like, are labyrinths always the same maze? And I use the word maze, but
Yeah, it's okay.
what would I say? Are they always the same path?
There's
it
a
different?
similarity to the path, but I brought a few with me today, and there are so many different styles. The one that's the best known is it's a Chartres labyrinth, originally built in France in the cathedral there. The one you and I are going to use was created by an artist in Prince Edward Island, where I lived for several years. It's one of a kind as far as I know. So there isn't one specific type, but some of what we're talking about still fits in. It's one path in and out. There are no dead ends. Usually the walls are not high so that you can see where you are and where you're going. Does that answer your question?
One of the questions I have is, like, one of the people that I met this morning, Derek Armstrong, was talking about mental health for children. Yeah. It's become such a big concern. Is the labyrinth for all ages?
Absolutely. I would like to say, though, that for this library program on Sunday, it is adult only, and we're loosely describing adults. You know, there can be a very mature 12-year-old, and that person would be very welcome. I do hope to do work with children in Lloydminster and area in the next few years. Yeah, mental health, you mentioned, big area. Grief, another area that I just spoke of briefly earlier. Those on the spectrum, we're seeing a lot of positive results for people who may or may not be verbal, who cannot tell us in an obvious way what they're longing for and what they're missing, and yet to be able to use a labyrinth to communicate is proving to be really important and powerful work. Yes.
So for meditation, you need quiet.
Yeah, you do. Do you? Well, let me ask
you.
Do you need?
I don't
quiet?
really meditate, so
Okay.
I don't know. But, well, you know, from what I've seen in other people's meditation, usually you're alone. You're not with a group, but you're saying this will work with a group. So,
Yeah.
do you need that absolute silence, or?
No. What I will do often is play some music, or my partner, who supports me in this work, will be drumming. And they will be bringing their drum with them this coming Sunday for the library program. So no, silence is not required. And yet, having something else, some music, some drumming, perhaps a gong, you know, those kinds of tools can help us settle in and quiet the mind.
Before you do a labyrinth, do you have to block everything out, though? Like, do you have to focus on the drums or focus on
You don't have
a
to do
certain
anything.
place in your head?
No, you don't have to do anything. And I have a great a personal example of being incredibly angry about something, and just going down the hill to where I was living at the time, where there was an outdoor labyrinth, and just going in. And was I walking softly and gently and quietly? Were my thoughts quiet and calm? No way, not at all. Was I feeling better when I came away from that? Yes. So I would say the labyrinth is there for whatever it is that we bring, whatever.
And I've heard people say it didn't work for me the first time.
Sure.
I had to do it a couple times.
Sure.
Then I got it. Is that common?
It depends. It depends on the person and what their expectations are. So when I was coming to meet with you today, I thought, I know, or I was expecting really succinct questions from you, and I don't often have those answers. So we need to, if possible, be somewhat open going into an experience like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are we ready to try it?
Are you ready to try
I think I'm
it?
ready to try it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I had no idea that you could do this until you said you could trace with your finger.
Yep.
I had no idea that I just thought it had to be outdoors.
It had to
because
be
I saw
outdoors.
you had asked somebody on Facebook if there was one in Lloyd. There's not one in Lloyd, but there's one close to Lloyd.
There's one close to Lloyd, and it's a lovely labyrinth person who has built a labyrinth out on their acreage. It is not open to the public as yet, but we may be able to work something out for the year. I wouldn't recommend that we go there now, not in this cold, but certainly in the spring and summer. Another person that I have met up with in Lloyd is a potter, and I brought one of her pieces today. It's a mug. I was so excited to learn that she knew about labyrinths and she was using them in her art. So I expect that we'll see more from her as well in the days to come.
Lloydminster can surprise you, can't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I just moved here like less than 2 years ago, and may I say this to you, Kurt, that I started to watch you before we moved here, and I got such a sense of what community was here. I got it all, basically. And I didn't stop watching you after we moved. I'm still watching you now.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Did you find that it was very similar to what you thought it would be watching the program? I've had some people from Calgary say that looks like a great place to live. If I didn't have to be here, I think I would want to be in Lloydminster.
There's a lot to offer here, and I think in some ways it's a really well-kept secret. So I came for two main reasons. One was medical care, and living in different provinces over the years, that became increasingly unavailable to me. And the other was affordable rental housing. And those are two things that I found here very easily. So that's an important piece of anyone looking at Lloyd and saying, looks like a great place to live, right?
It's fantastic.
But there's more. There's community.
There's community.
We're here. We're
Yep.
doing this together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of it starts here at the Lloydminster exhibition.
Well, yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned health. We're going to have Dr. Governor on. He's going to come on and talk about colds and stuff like that.
Oh,
because
interesting.
They've been around too. But okay, so where do we start here?
All right. So you don't need to do anything.
Okay.
You don't need to clear your mind. You don't have to
Focus on
you don't have to
anything, or-
deep breathe unless you want to. And what you're going to do is put your finger here, and that's the entrance to the labyrinth.
Okay.
And as you're kind of following that path, I'm going to ask you a couple of times to stop, and I'll ask a question.
Okay.
And you can respond, or you could say, I don't want to go there, Joan.
Okay, okay.
And then we will continue.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready,
Do I look at or do I follow?
it's up to you. It's been used throughout the decades with, people that are differently living with vision or the lack of. So you just go right ahead. As you come up to that next bend, I just invite you to pause. And here's your first question. Are you looking for an answer to a question?
No.
Great answer. Continuing on. Are you still breathing? That's not a question that I need you to stop
Yeah,
for, are you?
that's a
Okay,
good point. That's a good point,
Good,
actually.
Good, yes. And just pause anytime you're feeling yourself slow down. Right here. So ask yourself this as you stop. Why am I here in this place, in this moment?
This very place?
Yeah, whatever's coming up for you.
I really enjoy what I do. I love the city. And I think it's important what we do. I think, we bring a message to people of Lloydminster.
Yeah, I agree. And as you continue on, I can sense you slowing down a bit. So
I am
go
definitely
ahead.
slowing down.
Stop whenever you're ready.
Okay?
Do you think your dreams are going to come true?
Yes.
Oh, easy answer. Continue.
I don't have
That's
many
great.
big. I don't have many big dreams, so
Oh, well, I may have to ask what your biggest dream is. And just pause right here. Do I trust this path? Do you trust this path?
The path that I'm on.
Yeah?
Yes.
Great. Okay. And just stop in the middle. Yeah, that's great. You could just pause right there and take a breath. And so I invite you now to ask me a question. Anything that's coming up for you. Anything at all.
Do you think the city is sincere in wanting to put in a labyrinth in Lloyd?
I hope so. But you know, if not, if this isn't the time or the place, then that's okay. I have to accept that, don't I?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So what you can do now is you can retrace your steps. You can dance your way off that labyrinth, crossing all the lines. And I don't know you well, but I sense that you'd probably enjoy that. Yeah, it's really up to you.
I think I'm going to end up going backwards.
Yeah, you might be.
I might be going backwards.
Which is really a lovely thing for me to see. I didn't know if you noticed or not.
Yeah, I ended up going
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah, I've often gotten lost on the labyrinth, and some of my mentors say that that is the best place to be when you're lost, when you need to retrace your steps, when you're not hurrying to get out in the fastest way possible.
Right. In fact, I thought I was out at one time.
I think so too, and
Yeah.
here you are back again.
Yeah, this is the out. Yeah.
This is the out.
Yeah.
Beautiful walk. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
risking it. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah. So do you need to RSVP for Sunday?
No, there's no registration required. There's no cost. This is one of many great programs that I believe our Lloydminster Library is offering these days. And so no, just show up I suggest a little early. We have space for 20 people in our meeting room. And yeah, so if something amazing happens and 25 show up, if 200 show up, we'll work it out somehow.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And the type of people who want to do this, do you want skeptics?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Come. Yeah.
Do you think most people would say they're looking at peace in they're looking for peace in their personal life or at work? And
What I hope to offer to those that arrive on Sunday is an opportunity to walk for peace and leave that open. Now, I may use some qualifiers, world peace, absolutely. Pray for peace in Gaza as you're walking, whatever prayer is for you. Meditate on it. There may be a need for peace in your family, in your workplace, in your own being. So whatever peace is needed on Sunday, we'll walk together and we'll see what comes.
is there anything I'm forgetting to ask, Joan?
My goodness, I don't think so, Kurt. I think this has been fabulous.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Sunday.
No
at
need
the
to
library.
RSVP.
Nope.
Just show up.
Just show up. Yep. Just show up.
Bring anything with you?
You may want to bring some socks to walk
Okay.
in, but certainly we'll work that out if there's nothing that you need to bring other than yourselves and somewhat of an open heart.
Thank you, Joan. Appreciate
You're
it.
so welcome. My pleasure. Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you. We'll be back with you on Thursday, and we're going to be talking about the Inspiring Women's Conference, which takes place February 1st. Tara Weaver and Kelly Sidorik will be joining us on Thursday. Thanks, Joan.